Impact segment tonight, the Republican presidential debate this coming Thursday right here on Fox News. There are 3 new polls out today, all of them showing Donald Trump surging. Jeb Bush, Scott Walker are competitive. The other candidates well behind. Rejoining us now with an assessment, Charles Krauthammer. So let's tidy up the first segment. You want to say anything and before we get to the Republicans?
Yeah, I think there's an honest division of opinion in the country between people who believe, as you do, that life and personhood begins at conception, and others who believe there's a gradual process. And one of the arguments is if life or personhood begins, I believe that life, of course, does. That's not an issue, but personhood, all the attributes and protections. If it does, why is it that we don't have a funeral at a miscarriage? There are legitimate arguments that the very early embryo is not to enjoy the kind of protections that a 9-month-old fetus and certainly a child does. You're working with a small clump of cells and deciding whether you should derive stem cells?
I'm erring on the side of caution. Okay, I am erring on the side of potential human being, and it's a major deal to destroy it. And it should be taken seriously, and the state has an obligation to make sure when people do that, they know what they're doing. That's all. But I got to get to Republicans. All right, now, it looks like the only battle is between Perry and Christie to see who gets in. And it looks like Christie's going to get in with the latest polling here, because Perry's at 1% in the Fox News poll. But it's the Trump show. It's the Trump show. It's his to win or lose. He comes in with a huge momentum behind him. How do you think that's going to play out?
Well, I would think from his point of view, when you have the kind of lead he does, and the others have no particular incentive to attack you because it might hurt the two of you and leave the rest of the field unmolested, you've got a pretty good shot at just playing statesman and being quiet. But I don't see Trump coming in throwing around insults. But what I do see is maybe one of the candidates on the lower rung, who's got a lot less to lose and more to gain, might take a shot at Trump. And then watching
that would be Rand Paul.
It could be. It could be. It would have been Rick Perry, but he's not going to be.
Perry might have done, but Rand Paul, I think, if you were going to, if this were a betting thing in Vegas, you say, I'm going to put chips on Paul. He's going to go in and right after Trump.
Well, what will happen is Trump will probably react, however much he may have told himself, I'll take it easy. That's his instinct.
He hasn't told himself that.
No, well,
no. Don't you understand? He relishes this. He believes he's on a populist bent, that he has been designed to do this. He relishes the confrontation. He'll lose interest if he isn't involved with that.
Well, he knows that he's playing. So far, the game he's played is a winning hand.
Yeah.
Every time he gets attacked, it only strengthens him. And therefore, I think he's shown, there's no doubt that the month he's been in the race has shown that he's going to be a durable candidate. All those who thought, as I did at the beginning, that this would come and go. But, I do think at some point, it'll probably be later in the year, he's going to come up with a winnowed field, up against a winnowed field, where you have one or two very serious candidates who have specifics.
The whole dynamic is going to, but you know what I call this? It's the Jane, you ignorant slut syndrome. All right? That Trump, he can't. He's going to do it. And that is why you're going to get huge ratings. And he knows that's why the people are coming in to see it.
Look, it's more like network. I'm mad as hell, and I'm not going to take it
anymore. And it's working because millions of Americans are mad as hell as well. And believe me, there's good reason to be mad as hell in this
There's
society.
no question about it.
All right, I got to go.
The way he's survived, you have to say he's Teflon Don up to now.
All right, Charles Krauthammer, everybody. Directly ahead, Mary Catherine Ham and Juan Williams on whether America has already become a radical left country. And later, Hillary Clinton raising the specter of the war on women once again. Get your helmets, flak vests, bazookas. Factor is coming. We'll be right back.